Have you noticed it lately? A quiet shift you can't explain. Conversations that once flowed now feel strained. People who felt close suddenly seem distant. You replay moments, wondering what you did wrong. Hear me clearly, this confusion isn't random. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven. What you're sensing is a season changing. Familiarity is giving way to an unsettling distance, and that grief you feel is real. You're not imagining it, and you're not too sensitive. God often speaks softly before he moves powerfully. He allows awareness before alignment. This shift matters because it's signaling movement in the spirit. Something is ending, and something is preparing to begin. Don't rush past this feeling. Let it awaken curiosity instead of fear. The discomfort isn't punishment. It's an invitation to look closer, listen deeper, and recognize that heaven is real. This feels like rejection, but it isn't. When people pull away, your heart assumes you've failed. But Proverbs 16:9 says the heart plans its way, yet the Lord directs its steps. What feels like loss is actually guidance. God redirects before he reveals. He closes doors quietly so you don't cling to what can't carry you forward. Think of Joseph, sold, dismissed, misunderstood, yet every rejection positioned him closer to purpose. Your pain is senti, proof of abandonment. It's evidence of divine leadership. God is still in control, even when explanations are missing. He's steering you away from dependency and toward destiny. Let this truth settle in your spirit. You are not being pushed aside. You are being guided ahead. Trust the hand you can't see. What looks like an ending is God protecting your steps and teaching you to follow him closely. God has a way of removing what cannot travel with you. Genesis 12:1 shows God telling Abram to leave his country, his people, and his father's household. The calling required separation. What once felt comfortable could not sustain what was coming. This is where trust is tested. Letting go hurts because attachment feels holy, but obedience is holier. Some relationships were safe in one season, but unsafe for the next. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. God separates to elevate, not to isolate. You may grieve what's being removed, but don't confuse grief with disobedience. Even Jesus released crowds to walk with 12, and later, only 3. Comfort gives way to calling. Not everyone is assigned to every chapter of your life. Releasing them doesn't make you disloyal. It makes you aligned. Trust that God knows the weight of what he's asking you to carry, and he's lightening your load on purpose. This pruning prepares you for strength, focus, and future. Silence can feel louder than words. When messages stop and effort becomes one-sided, your heart searches for meaning. Amos 3:3 asks, "Can two walk together unless they are agreed?" Distance often reveals misalignment. What once felt connected now feels strained, not because you failed, but because direction changed. God uses silence as a signal. He allows gaps so you can discern what no longer fits. This space brings peace when you stop forcing conversation. You don't need closure from people to receive clarity from God. Think of Elijah hearing God not in wind or fire, but in a gentle whisper. Silence trains your spirit to listen deeper. It shifts you from confusion to discernment. If communication faded, alignment likely did too. That's not rejection, it's revelation. God speaks through distance, protecting your heart and sharpening your vision. Let the quiet guide you. What grows quiet is making room for what will speak life again at the right appointed time. Protection doesn't always feel gentle. Sometimes it feels like a loss. When God removes someone, the pain convinces you that something good was taken. But Isaiah 54:70 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Some weapons look like people who have access to your heart. God sees what you can't see. He removes threats before they appear, not after damage is done. What hurt you to lose may have hurt you more to keep. Preservation often comes disguised as pain. Think of Lot being pulled out of Sodom before destruction fell. What felt forced was actually mercy. God's protection interrupts attachment. It breaks unhealthy cycles quietly. At first, you mourn what is left. Later, you thank God it didn't stay. This shift moves you from hurt to gratitude. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. God guards your future fiercely. Trust his hand even when it feels heavy. He loves you to let what would harm you remain close. Jesus said in Luke 5:37-38 that new wine must be poured into new wineskins. What God is preparing for you requires new capacity. Old patterns, old dynamics, and old expectations can't hold what's coming. This season isn't just about who left, it's about who you are becoming. Endings make room for beginnings. God matures you before he surrounds you. Think of a seed, it must break open before it bears fruit. That breaking isn't loss, it's readiness. You're learning discernment, boundaries, and dependence on God alone. That's growth. New relationships will require deeper roots, not old habits. Don't rush to replace what ended. Let God reshape your heart. Hope is rising even if it feels tender. You are being expanded on the inside, so you don't leak what heaven pours out. Growth always demands change, and this change is preparing you to carry joy, peace, and partnership without breaking under the weight of what God is about to release into your life. You are not being left behind. Hear me clearly. When others move on and you feel forgotten, God is not overlooking you. Isaiah 43:19 says He is doing a new thing. Even now it springs forth. Delay is not denial. Separation is not abandonment. According to 1 Peter 2:9, you are chosen, set apart, called out of darkness into light. God selects before He sends. What feels like isolation is actually refinement. He's shaping your discernment, strengthening your identity, and teaching you to hear His voice above all others. You are not behind schedule. You are on heaven's timeline. While others rush ahead, God is building depth in you. Rejection says you are unwanted. God says you are selected. Abandonment whispers lack. God declares purpose. Let this truth anchor you. You are becoming someone who won't settle, won't shrink, and won't compromise by calling for comfort. God is intentionally shaping you for relationships that honor your growth and assignments that match your anointing. This season proves your value and refines confidence. What God is building next will surprise you. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds you that God knows the plans He has for you. Plans to give you hope and a future. This shift is not emptiness. It's holy space. Where uncertainty once lived, assurance is growing. God is clearing room for relationships rooted in truth, peace, and purpose. What's coming will feel safer, quieter, and stronger. You won't have to chase it. It will recognize you. If this word is speaking to your heart, respond in faith. Type I trust God's timing, and let it be your declaration. Stay connected here if you need reminders like this, because you're not walking alone. Now receive this blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He turn His face toward you and give you peace. As Numbers 6:24-26 promises. Rest tonight, knowing God is rearranging with intention. What He removes, He replaces with better. What He delays, He deepens. This shift is leading you into alignment, healing, and relationships that honor who you are becoming in Him. Trust Him, remain open, and expect goodness to meet you soon there.